How do Tesla measure versus the competition? From our research, we found that Tesla's Model S has half the volume of mentions of the BMW i8, but twice the rate of increase. Negative mentions, however, are double the volume of the i8 and increasing at double the rate. We also found that these negative topics center around safety issues. We found there was a correlation between positive mentions and sales figures, and we also determined which features customers expect in $70,000 to $80,000 vehicles. We also determined that of Tesla's 4 USPs, only 3 of those are conveyed well to customers. Question 1, how does my brand compare to its competitors? So if we look at the share of voice chart, looking at the Model S, i8 and Panamera e-hybrid, we can first of all see Tesla has about half the mentions of the i8, but is outpacing the Panamera e-hybrid considerably. On the plus side though, we can see that the Model S is increasing in rate of mentions at about double the pace of the i8. If we next look at the negative mentions, here we can see that despite having half the total mentions, the Model S has double the negative mentions of the i8. And not only that, but is increasing at just over double the rate as well. If we do look at the reason for some of these negative issues, we can quickly drill in and see, first of all, what the issues were. So very easily we can see that it was a brake issue. What kind of a brake issue was it? Well, as you can see, there was a recall, and Tesla was forced to recall a number of Model S's over faulty parking brakes. Next, where are my sales and mentions taking place? Here we looked at positive mentions to see if there was a correlation with sales. And we saw that in Asia and Australasia, there was a correlation between the two. So as we have an increase in positive mentions, we then would have an increase in sales happening slightly later, around a month later. And same thing with Australasia, where we have an increase in positive mentions, we would have an increase in sales just later. Question 3 is, what features do customers expect in $70,000 to $80,000 cars, and is answered in this pushmail report. The answer here is that they're primarily looking for basic autonomous capabilities such as lane detection and collision avoidance. In the cockpit, they're looking for power seats, a large touchscreen and voice controls. And in the exterior of the car, LED lights are something that people now consider standard in this price bracket. We determined this breakdown from the chart that you can see here with those features listed. The articles were categorized using a custom automotive feature-based ontology and smart tagged for further analysis, which allowed us to determine which features were the most and least popular. The final question is product value properly conveyed to customers? We did this by looking at each of Tesla's 4 key USPs that they highlight on their website. The first 3, all electric, 0 emissions and longest range, are all doing fine, but we definitely have a problem with safest. The way we came to this conclusion was by comparing the share of voice of each USP with its counterpoint. So if we look at each of the 4, all electric really doesn't have a counterpoint, so definitely no issue there. 0 emissions has a counterpoint of people questioning whether the cars are really 0 emissions. Really, as you can see here, very little traction there. As we go down to longest range, the counterpoint is range concerns, and again, very little traction, only a couple of percentage points. However, when we come to safest, we see that within all of the conversation happening on the web, there's really almost an equal number of people talking about unsafe or safety issue as there are talking about safest, and it's pretty clear that that USP isn't being properly conveyed.